Get that cracked into place. I got some lovely grape soda today right now. We'll be drinking. That was real boomhauer there. Sorry about that. Hey there, hi there, ho there, everybody. Mindful Pig here. This is, of course, the Two Tired Dudes podcast. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about Elden Ring, the game I haven't played, and probably most of the people that'll join the podcast haven't played. But we're all going to give you our opinion on the DLC because that's just what we do here on the Two Tired Dudes podcast. Actually, no, it's really been a hot topic of discussion, much more than I thought it would have been. I honestly didn't think DLC would get this much attention. And yeah, it's very interesting. There's a lot of mixed reviews, it seems. But then it's who you talk to, right? Like if as you'll find out when we dive into that topic, um, those who seem to be really into Elden Ring have a very positive outlook, and those who, dabble in the game seem to have a really different negative view of it. So yeah, sorry, I was also holding back a burp there. Uh, I'm just really curious to hear not only the Discord community's opinion, but also going to go over like a few of the responses I got on Twitter and maybe a few comments there on Discord as well. Really interesting topic, and there's been a lot of videos about it. There's a few other gaming related news things I'd like to go over if I do have a guest with me. If not, then I'll just go over them on my own, right? But we'll give them a second or chance to hop into that. Um, it's been a long time, actually. It's been like 2 weeks, like 2 actual solid weeks, because the last podcast I didn't really have to edit. So I pretty much just put it up. So if you're watching this later on, I mean, if you're watching this on Twitch, it's always been 2 weeks. But if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, it'll actually like almost like be the whole 2 week period. It would be cool if I could get this edited in time, but I mean, it all depends, right? If I'm by myself, easy, like ballpark, right? I usually edit about an hour and then we can shoot it out. But if I'm with the buddies, that's a good like 3 hour podcast sometimes. So that's a little longer to edit and knock out of the park right away. But yeah, see, it's such a long process, 2 weeks. And then I think back to like, what did I do for gaming? And it's like I never have a big thing to bring to the table. I guess like if we're gonna stick on the Souls train, the only big thing I did, Souls wise, was I played more Bloodborne. I did get stuck on this one boss. I can't remember its name. It does like poison damage. You like confront it in this I guess corridor, like little hallway area, and at first it's not too bad. It's pretty easy to take down, but it seems I want to say every quarter of its health, it does this like screaming thing, and then it launches like poison out of it. And I'm assuming it's getting stronger. It does feel like it's getting stronger at least. And yeah, it just gets worse and worse, right? And the poison damage deals more, and it becomes harder to avoid it. I think I was wrong though. I did seem to think that it's because it has like aura around it. It's almost like flies, like it's supposed to stink. Poison damage, right? I thought if I get near it, I still take that poison damage, but I don't think that was the case. I think I was still getting hit by it. Because usually you get hit by it, right? And then it would deal its poison damage to you. Or disease damage, or whatever terminology they want to use. But yeah, not too. I'll have to look at that one. I do want to go back to it. I always stopped because I was going to my mom's that last week, so we got 2 streams in. I think one on Twitch, one on YouTube. YouTube was funny. YouTube was just a straight hour of me trying to beat that boss, and I couldn't hack it. But I was rushing it. I should have been rushing it. I thought about that today. I was like, I took 15 minutes on each run with that boss, and 15 minutes. It could have been even like, let's say 5 minutes was just me getting from point A to the boss. So yeah, I probably should took my time more with that one. That was my bad. I did level up the character twice. Because yeah, I did play a little more after the stream ended. I got a good 30 more minutes into the game, and I think I leveled up twice after that, so I should be able to handle it. Yeah, that's my Bloodborne adventure right now. I'm excited to go back into it. Like, I don't know, Bloodborne is just a phenomenal game. Like every time I hop into it, I just have a damn good time. And I feel that same way when I play a Souls game, which is breaking my heart that I haven't played Elden Ring yet. But I'm already doing 2 of them. I don't want to tackle a third one because like Elden Ring and Dark Souls are pretty similar, it seems, as far as like lore wise, like that medieval setting. And I feel like if I jump into Elden Ring, I won't want to jump back into Dark Souls, and I don't want to take that away because I like Dark Souls a lot. I definitely want to keep keep riding that train. Um, I played No Man's Sky yesterday, which was a phenomenal time. I got to play with Lazy Panda. This was be JW, but he got hooked on this new game, which if he gets on, I'm hoping he'll have a chance to talk about. Um, but yeah, we were playing No Man's Sky, and again, right? Like that's another. Like today was an extremely stressful day at work. My body is fucking aching. If I wanted to game, that would be the game I'd play today because it's simple. I can lay back. I can just muck around and have a good time. Like you literally could just harvest minerals for an hour if you wanted to, and like that's still useful. It's still going to help you, and like I like games like that. I like those turn off your brain and just have fun. And it's such a beautiful game on top of all that. Like it's such a goddamn gorgeous masterpiece. Yeah, I really like No Man's Sky. The ship battles are really freaking irritating. Oops, sorry. But I mean that's expected. Like I haven't played any game that's ever done space battles fun or exciting. They're always bullshit to me. Like I've never enjoyed one of them. Star Wars is the worst. I hate their version of it. I think it was Star Wars Battlefront 2 that did that. Like, oh, just terrible. Sorry, I meant the PS2 version. I forgot that they chose the same name for both of them, the reboot and the old one. Um, trying to think if there's any other games I really played. I talked about Breath of the Fire last time, which I haven't jumped back into. I should. I ended up playing Pokemon. Um, oh crap, what's it called? Pokemon Union or something like that. It's on the Switch. It's just like a tower. What do you call it? A MOBA game, and it's pretty decent. Like it's fine. It's good. You know what I mean? It's fun to hop in and out of. I saw JW hop in, you hopped out. I guess he'll be coming back right away. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I've played on the Switch. Um, watched a few movies with my mom. Nothing phenomenal. I've already watched them before. One of them was A Thousand Ways to Die in the West, which is an absolute hilarious movie. Highly recommend it. Um, yeah, yeah, not really too much. Like I said, gaming's been kind of the same thing. Hey JW, looks like you're on there now. How's it going, buddy?
You?
No, not too bad, not too bad.
Hello?
Hey,
Yeah.
can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, all right.
Yeah, A Thousand Ways to Die is hilarious.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. I love how like honest they are about that timeline, just how shitty it is to be alive. And then
Yeah.
you think, oh, where's the one
Well,
scene?
I like a lot of Seth MacFarlane's stuff.
Yeah, like he's funny. He's really funny when he gets a chance to put together a movie. So the one part that
Yeah.
made me laugh was when they go outside the bar. Like he's explaining how shitty everything is, right? And then he goes outside the bar. He's like, "And that's our mayor. He's been dead for 3 days." And it's like, I think like as he's talking, he's like, "And now 2 wolves are taking his dead body away." Just like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what would happen. But yeah, what have you been up to, buddy? It's been a while. Like I said, it's actually been officially 2 weeks, even for the YouTube edit. So it's been a while since we all got together.
Sure. I've watched a couple of stuff, played a couple of stuff. Just yesterday, I started playing GTFO. I don't know if you've had time to check what the gameplay looks like.
No, not yet, not yet.
Because it's sort of hard to explain, but it's a bit of horror extraction shooter, but well, no, not extraction shooter. I should say horror co-op shooter, where you usually go into you select sort of a spire, which is like a a big chapter of multiple missions, if you want,
Okay.
and there's multiple missions that you do. So there's this objective, let's say, to go find the DNA core of something. So you need to get it and extract back afterwards. Sometimes you'll have side objectives, or usually it's not straightforward. You arrive there, there's a bunch of monsters everywhere, and you need to, let's say, find where it is. It doesn't tell you exactly where it is in the level, so you find a terminal, a sort of computer, and you can search information through that computer, so you know around what zone that it's in, for example. So let's say you'll write like query something like, I don't know, DNA core, and it will tell you, well, it's around zone 49. So you looked on the doors and it tells you, well, this is bringing you to zone 40, and beyond that there's other doors, right? And some doors behind city measures, which means once you start the process, enemies will rush you while you try to go on certain zones to disable the security measures. Or there are some hacking doors. There are doors that need key. So in that same way, you go to a computer, a terminal, you search for the key where it is, and it's very special and original, the process, because you start off sort of stealthy, or you try to at least, and because you don't have infinite ammo, the ammo is scarce, so you try to do the most that you can without wasting ammunition and resources.
And it's a team of 4, you were saying too, right?
Yeah, well, you can do less than 4, but it's 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the difficulty doesn't scale, so you might as well do it at 4 players.
I was gonna say, yeah, it probably didn't yeah, scale for you guys because you said it was pretty difficult with just the two of you.
Oh yeah, it was very difficult. Like the other night, we spent the whole night on one mission until we completed it. Because once you fail a mission, you start over.
Oh,
Like there's a checkpoint usually towards the end or half, but that's the only checkpoint.
wow. But it does sound like fun though. Like, I mean, there's a lot to it, like a lot more than I was expecting. When you were first talking about it.
Yeah, well, I was surprised with it as well. I mean, I bought it, so I was expecting to like it, but like I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, especially with the high difficulty. Because as you know, I'm not a glutton for punishment, but I it's like it's almost as if it's not. It's a bit frustrating here and there, the difficulty, but it's never like enraging when you die or when you have to start over.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, did you like just stumble across it, or did you see this game coming out? It was like on your wish list.
Yeah, on Steam, me and my best friend, we it was a game that always interested us. That we would talk here and there, but that we weren't sure because we were hearing certain stuff and
Oh,
all that.
okay.
And I think for the first time, it was $20 or 30, something like that. When usually it's like with 50. Yeah, currently it's $22 Canadian.
Oh, that's
And
not bad.
so for the first time, it was $22 instead of 30 or 40. So we thought I might as well try it, and we having a great time. I've already it's in 2 days. I've already spent 9 hours on it,
Wow.
which I'm sort of surprised. I wasn't expecting that, but I guess it. Like I said, I wasn't joking when I said I spent all night on one mission.
Yeah. No, it definitely sounds like it's worth the price tag for sure. Like that's yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of content and like weapon choices. Yeah, I didn't talk about the weapon choices. There are enormous amount of weapon choices, as much in guns as in melee weapons. And in tools, there are multiple tools. For example, goo that reinforces walls, or there's an enemy detector that helps you ping stuff, or there are mine placements. There's a bunch of tools, turrets, etc. to help you as well.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was thinking, I wonder what the replay value is in the missions. Like, after a while, does it feel stale? But if you get that many options, then yeah, that alone would make it interesting each run.
Well, it remains to be seen if it gets stale. I'm still at the beginning, right?
Of course,
But
yeah.
as for now, we're having a great time with it.
And what else have you been playing there, Jimmy? I know you said you had another playthrough of Stellar Blade. I'm assuming your
That's
opinion
true.
hasn't changed at all.
No, I finished that second playthrough. Did a different ending. Was super interesting, and
Yeah,
I've unlocked
difference.
way more costumes again, and I've maxed out my skills. Because when you do a new game plus, there are more skills to unlock afterwards that they give you
Yeah,
that isn't in the base game, or on your first playthrough, I should say.
that's
So I
good.
did that as well.
Yeah, it's good you got a different ending. I was kind of hoping they would at least give you that for a whole nother playthrough.
Yeah, there are 3 different endings. So
Oh, okay.
I'm currently doing a third playthrough, which that one will be super fast because I won't. Because I here's the thing with my second playthrough, I did a lot of still a lot of side quests and picking collectibles and stuff because it would give me XP for upgrading my skills and my drone and all that, right?
Yep.
But now I don't need to do all this for this third playthrough. So I'll just be doing the main quests and going through it super fast because I've pretty much unlocked everything now.
And I know the first time you finished it, you were a little bit disappointed. Was the second ending like a little better for you, or do you still kind of have the same feeling?
Um, it's a bit nebulous, that second ending, I have to say.
Oh,
Um, kind of hard to talk about it. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, part of me like it, but another part of me is like, there's, I don't know enough. Still, I find with that second ending, like
okay.
it poses more questions that I'm sure would be answered with, like, let's say, a sequel or something, right?
Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't sound like you were as disappointed. I know the first time around yeah. If
Well, I
you,
wasn't disappointed with the other one. It's just there's a lack of information on the main story that uh, that there should be. Like, there's a lot of mysteries, and for some reason they have trouble putting the information out there. Like, a lot of it is pieced together with by looking at character bios in the menus and stuff.
yeah.
And which you would say it's normal for a game like Dark Souls, but this is a game where you follow a story with cutscenes and everything, right? And the most important parts of the stories are in these tidbits, which is not normal, I don't think. It shouldn't be like that. Like, it should be more obvious.
Yeah.
And
I get your point.
it might be an error with the translation as well. That's possible. But there are key information that is not present in the main game that should be, or in the cutscenes, be more obvious. That was more my disappointment, not necessarily the ending itself.
Oh, okay. I get what you mean. It was just those two they even played the last couple weeks?
Well, I've been playing more Perfect Dark, and
Yeah, sorry, Gino. When did you want me to do a playthrough of that one? Do you want me to do one like this week or?
oh, whenever you feel like it.
Okay, okay, I'll do one this week. Then so I can yeah, so I can just see what it's like again. I mean, I should have known like the graphics got a lot better, but yeah, that one comparison you showed me, I was like, shit, man, that's quite the upgrade. I didn't expect it to be that
Oh
big of a
yeah,
difference.
and I'd be interested. I don't know. There's a question I want to ask, but I'll ask it once you do the playthrough with the remastered version
Okay.
because I've been seeing a couple of differences visually, and I was wondering if you were going to notice or not. So anyway, we'll see once we're there. And
Okay.
but yeah, more Perfect Dark, which I'm still having fun with, and couple of demos on Steam here and there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like I've played more stuff, but I can't remember.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, a lot of
And
demos. That's quite a
yeah, well, the demos are modeling what I remember from what I played.
bit. And
And
Hazy Chick.
but yeah, no, I've been watching a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh,
That is
have you?
hilarious. Yeah,
Nice.
and like I'm out to season 8, which is I think it's season 8 or almost finished season 8, something like that.
Wow, it went that long? I don't know. In my head, I had it only as 4 seasons. Holy shit! I didn't think there was
Oh
8.
no, there's like 12 seasons or more. It's been
Wow.
running for like years.
Wow, I don't know why. In my head, I had it like the same way as like, I guess like Futurama, where it came and left and came back and left. Shit. Wow.
Which
Okay.
is what is great with that show is that it's consistently good.
Yeah.
Like there's not necessarily a really bad episode or anything. It's consistently very good. Like I don't know how they do it to have that consistency of quality every time and hilariousness. Really,
Yeah, I gotta go
have you
back.
been watching it?
I was just thinking like the last time I watched it, it had to be like a good like 5 or more years ago. But yeah, no, I would definitely be down to rewatch that again. I really enjoyed it. It was like a nice transition when Seinfeld came to an end. I remember that was like my kind of like a jumping point into that show. Like obviously different styles, but I mean just the humor was just bang on. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, that was a really good show. I'm not doing too bad, Z Chick. Like I said, just a long day at work. Happy it's over with. Same as you are. Um, yeah. I don't think there was really anything I had to shout out. Like I said, for movies and all that, other than that one I watched. So yeah,
Well, in terms of games, is there anything you want to shout out?
no, like I was saying, I did. I mean, I kind of gave it there, but I did Bloodborne again, right, for 2 playthroughs on stream, and just like I said, fantastic game. So happy I got the opportunity to play it. I'm more than happy to continue going through it. I was even debating in my head and going through like scenarios with that boss I'm at right now. I'm just like, like where did I probably go wrong with it, and how could I approach it differently? I think I was rushing it a little bit too much. I need to slow myself down to avoid it. Because then every time I died, it was that one fucking move where he just leaps on top of you and he just munches down your body. You're just like, God damn it. Um, I remember how excited I was too when I found out you could have a summon. Like when I saw that little bell, I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this? Like, what am I gonna cause myself now?" And then like I saw it like spawn an ally, and like I must look ridiculous on stream because I walked around him. I was like trying to do things. I was like, is it an NPC? Is it a real person? Like what I just summoned? And then yeah, obviously I came to the conclusion it was an NPC, and I was like, okay, come with me, buddy. We're gonna take on this guy. And
Well,
it's
you're lucky because they used to not have them. It used to not be there. They only added it when they did the Old Hunter DLC.
wow. That would have, yeah, wow, that would have completely changed the outcome of that fight. Because I mean, I didn't,
So
I don't know.
you completed? Did you complete the boss in Old Yarnum or not?
Yeah, the guy at the graveyard, right?
The being that poisons, I mean.
Oh no! I haven't beat him yet. No. It was a whole hour on stream, and I kept getting slapped left, right, and center like shit. I couldn't. I said every single death was that. I just ran into his loving arms, and he just munched my head right off. And I was like, God damn, this guy. Tommy was having a really good laugh because it was it was so much confidence every time. I was like, okay, he's down to that last quarter of a health. Like I got this, it's over, and then it'd just be a big old like fuck because he'd latch on and me. Yeah, I gotta go back. I gotta. It's the worst part of those games. You just
Okay, podcast over.
yeah.
I have to go back.
I hate that part about these kind of games. Like you feel like you're so close, and you just want to keep trying. But I love it too.
Yeah, that was basically my first mission of GTFO as well. Like we didn't want to stop. We just wanted to continue. And then the next day for that second mission, during the day, I was thinking about what we could do different for that second mission because we kept dying at the beginning. And so same thing, yeah.
Yeah, right. And you it sucks too when you're like, okay, I think I got the idea of what I'm supposed to do or where I'm supposed to go or whatever the case is, right? And you're just so determined, right? Like you just like almost like what you say with writing, right? Like I just want to put that fucking controller in my hand and like I know what I need to do.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the other one I was just shouting out was No Man's Sky. Like I said, every time I jump into that game, just literally blown away. It's just
Yeah, I'm annoyed. I forgot about that.
oh no, it's okay. I get
Which
it.
is funny. Which is funny because I was gaming with my friend and I was telling him I feel like I'm forgetting something. Like there was something I was supposed to do tonight. And he was saying, you did tell me that you were available during the day, not the night, but here you are. And I was like, I don't remember. It's like, it's probably not important. And I was like, nah, it's probably important if I forgot it.
No, it's all good. It was fun watching Ice
And then I
Cream.
remembered when you wrote me.
Yeah, like that probably was like one part I kept telling him. I was like, man, if JW is here, he'd be so much better at explaining this all to you. So I was like trying to like noob my way through like helping him with the tutorial. I was like, yeah, you need to do this and this and like there's some parts you'd forget, and I'd be like, okay, let me like backtrack here and try to help you solve that. But yeah, no, it was fun. It was really cool, like because I had to make a new character again because I think he had a different style on. I think he went to casual or something. Where the character I made was on normal. I don't know.
Right.
I tried to load mine in, but it said it couldn't load that character into his lobby. But anyway, yeah, just the planet he landed on, there was just like so much wildlife as like opposed to the one that I had, where I think you were with me in that moment. It was just constant like lava and like firestorms and shit. And his was like these weird like pig bubbles just floating through the sky, and like it was really cool, like really, really well designed. And then yeah, I can't remember. I think we went to like a different planet after that. And like even like I said, when I was playing by myself, right, like just going to that like Saturn looking planet, and like at first it looked like clear skies. Like, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hover my way over there, no problem. And then an asteroid field came out of nowhere. Just every moment about it, it's so good. And like I said to you already, I'm so ready to be disappointed playing Starfield after playing this, because like this is everything you could want in a space game. It's amazing what they actually put together. Like they did a fantastic job with this game.
Oh, fantastic job of updating it.
Yeah, like
Because when it came out, most of those things weren't there.
that's what Tommy was saying too. He's like, you're making me want to retry this again. He's like, but I got burned the first time. I said, well, if you don't believe me, ask JW. I said he's been playing for quite a while too, and they've done a lot, Tommy. I said I'm not exaggerating. Like this actually is fun. Like it's not just hyping up for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it on launch on PS4 and played a while, but sort of understood the limitation of everything. But my point of this game was just really to fly around, explore here and there. So I was sort of semi-fine with it. It wasn't great, but I wasn't mad at it either, right? And I also thought it was an amazing feat what they've done with this game, having so many planets and stuff to collect along the way in missions and stuff, right?
Yeah. Like, I know I'm not that far
And
into it, but
so,
like 8 planets I've been to so far have all felt unique. Like, there is nothing. I mean, minus the fact like there's wildlife and there's plants. There's really nothing that ties all these planets together. Like, they are their own unique little atmosphere and all that. Like, it's so cool.
yeah, and so, but I stopped at some point because, like I said, I sort of noticed the repetition of it at some point and sold the game. And then after a while, after a couple of years, I think I bought it again on PC because I kept seeing all the updates they were making, and I've been with it since. So I think it's one of my highest played game in terms of hours. Like, it really sucks me in when I start playing it.
Totally. Like I told you, I love the geeking out. I love just scanning shit and, like you said, renaming it or doing whatever. I was saying earlier, this is the kind of game where you literally could just take your little blaster and just mine for like an hour, and like that's satisfying and it's rewarding because like obviously those minerals are gonna help you, right? Like it just they take the most basic stuff and it's just so much fun. I just I can't praise it enough. It's a great game.
Yeah, and there's a bit for everyone. I'm not much of a base builder, but there's base building for people that love doing that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in terms of exploration. That's the main course of the game, but there are derelict ship and to explore, and sort of abandoned ships, and all sorts of different stuff on the planet, and and I just think there's a lot to it. I still find the combat to be its most lackluster part, but it's gotten much better than it used to be.
Oh yeah. That space battle yesterday was just fucking whooping my ass. Like when it was 3 against 1, I was like, I don't even have a chance right now.
Well, you can upgrade your ship.
True, yeah. That was the one I had currently. That's for damn sure. I couldn't even turn around fast enough to get the buggers. And then I think finally afterwards it told me a little hint on how to lock onto the enemy. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, because trying to
Oh, well, yeah, that helps.
yeah, trying to manually aim with that bloody ship was terrible.
But you can add multiple types of weaponry as well. So homing missiles, let's say, that really helps, or
Ooh, yeah, that'd be
all
great.
sorts of different types of lasers or photon blasts, and etc. etc. You can switch between them during the fight, so that would help as well. And having better shield.
Yeah, and a better shield too. And the aliens too. I love the little aliens I've come across so far. I was about to compare it to Mass Effect, but I was like, no, it's different from Mass Effect. Like these aliens are not cartoonish, I would say, but just more, I guess, colorful and lively compared to the, I guess, Mass Effect ones. But I do like all the different
Well, I mean, Mass
designs.
Effect is wanted to do this sort of realistic thing, right?
Yeah,
In terms of alien races and all that. And No Man's Sky, its art direction is a bit cartoonish, like you say, like a bit reminiscent of old space adventures from the 60s, 70s, your Flash Gordon and stuff like that,
yeah,
where it was more colorful and like not pastel, but slightly cartoonish.
exactly. Yeah, I like it. I actually prefer that better than Mass Effects.
And it's different. And I really like it as well. Like, when you see something from No Man's Sky, you know immediately it is without looking at the title, just because of its art direction.
So true. Yeah, so true. Yeah, thanks, man. That was a great pick that you had me play. Definitely, definitely now reaching one of my top 10 games for sure. It's just I can't wait to see what's like.
I'm glad you like it.
I do, I really, really do. Um,
I can understand people not liking it. Like, it's a bit of busy work type of thing, right?
Yeah, like 100%. Like I don't know how you can pop that into your hand and say, "No, this is not for me." It's like like this is. I think you said before, and I completely agree with you. This is the kind of a game you play after like a long day of work, or you're just tired. Like you can literally just muck around in this game, and you're still making progress. You're still having a good time. Like there's no. It's not like you're playing Call of Duty or something like that, right? To relax. Like this is an actual relaxing game to play.
Yeah, and like you can follow the long main story, or you can do side stuff, or you can just completely veer off the path and go anywhere you want, really.
Yeah, make your own adventure out of it. Exactly. I'm sorry, Janelle, I
So
can't remember. I think you said you did. But we're jumping into our Elden Ring discussion. Did you play a little bit of Elden Ring at least, or not at all?
I played around 30 to 40 hours of it.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So 30 to.
Basically, I reached the sort of mage school, and I say mage school, it's not a school, but sort of mage library or whatever it's called, I'm not sure. And I stopped. Like, I was tired of it. Kind of.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, this is gonna be a funny discussion because our main dude, who definitely has put a lot of hours into it, unfortunately is entertaining his family tonight. So as much as it kills him, he won't be
Yeah.
hopping on.
And none of us have played the DLC.
Yeah, I know. Best time to talk about it. But like, okay, what I was saying earlier, I don't know if you feel the same way. If you asked me like at the beginning of the year, like, oh man, what do you think the DLC is gonna be like? I'd be like, oh, it's gonna be great. People are gonna love it. And I didn't expect it to like blow up like wildfire, or just like it became like the main topic of everyone's discussion. Like, I definitely did not expect that from DLC. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Yeah, like I'm sort of surprised that it's getting mixed reviews.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's so I don't know. It's silly that DLC is this big of a topic. But yeah, it seems like kind of like what I was hinting at, like those who love FromSoft, and like, or the people that have been probably playing Elden Ring from the day it started till now are in love with it, right? They're having a great time. It's exactly what they wanted. And those who probably played Elden Ring when it first came out, and were either streamers that were just trying to catch the hype train, or just somebody that was like, hey, this looks like a really cool game. Haven't touched it over a year, and now they're hopping into the DLC because it's the newest thing, and yeah, they're getting taken off guard. And I just, yeah, I don't.
Well, like we were having in our Discord server chat, they must have done something different, right, in its approach to this DLC compared to the base game. Because the base game sort of brought in a bunch of new people, right? Like you said. And it was universally loved. So for this DLC to be mixed, they must have done something different. Like, I wouldn't know to say what, because I didn't play it. But if I can probably theorize that they've probably made something closer, that were closer to, let's say, Dark Soul or Dark Soul 2 or something like that. And so the people that loved Elden Ring suddenly are not into it anymore.
Now, see, I don't want to talk for Jimmy, but that was a question that I asked him. I said, hey, because I don't want to spoil anything from him, because he's really big into like no spoilers, right? I said, okay, you played an hour or whatever it was. I think it was 2 hours you dropped into it at the time. I was like, are you getting the Dark Souls vibe from it? I said, that's all I'm gonna say. I just, I've been hearing rumors about that, and he's like, no. He's like, this is nothing like it. It's still like Elden Ring. You still have a lot of options for exploration. And then when you watch a lot of these review videos, like both sides, right? One of the common things is these little shards that you can pick up. And, I think the one you shared there, Donkey, kind of hinted on it. He said he got 4 of them. And by the time he hit 4 of those shards, he already felt like a god in the game. Um, but I have heard that, yeah, that
I'm not
makes.
sure he was serious when
No,
Donkey said
no,
that.
no, it definitely probably wasn't 4. But these shards do change, right? That course of difficulty in the game. I've watched a couple shorts
Well,
now.
explain the shards, because I don't know exactly what they do.
It's almost like a stat boost, from what I understand. But it's tied towards the DLC. So as you pick those up, basically everything in the DLC becomes easier to take on and kill. Your damage is going to deal more, stuff like that. And then, from what I understand, if you go back into the main game of Elden Ring, those shards do nothing. They only affect the enemies in the DLC. So that's
Okay,
fair.
that's bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, again, I
You
haven't
know,
I
for a
haven't
game
played it,
where it's based on builds and stuff,
but
that you need to get these shards to complete the game is a bit weird.
but I don't know, like a lot of people are saying, right? Because the game's been out for 2 years, so people had a lot of time. They got level 300s or 200s or 100, whatever the case is, right? Whatever the level cap is, right? They got big, massive characters. Yeah, they put hundreds and hundreds of hours into this. So I kind of get it. They wanted to give you that experience of like, hey, you think you're great, but actually, when you hit the DLC, you're almost like level 1 again. And I'm assuming these shards are like how they kind of leveled it out so that you could, at least feel like you're progressing. They wanted to hit you hard at the start, and then by the time you reach the end boss, you'll have enough, stat boosts or whatever to be able to have a fair fight against them, and it won't feel so ridiculously overpowered. That's my guess. Just based on, like I said, all the random videos I've been watching and stuff like that. Um, like I said,
Yeah,
our 2 biggest Elden Ring fans in our Discord community, their opinions, it's difficult, but it's not impossible, right? So I take their word pretty highly. Um, I definitely want to try it still myself.
although they could be biased as well,
Oh
because
yeah,
they're so
yeah, definitely
from
Jimmy.
software fans. Because from your explanations, it really, I don't know, it sounds looking for the right word. It sounds a bit well, it's a weird design choice. It doesn't sound very it sounds like they ran into a problem and they didn't know a problem with the difficulty or with how to scale it, and they tried to fix that with these shards. So I'm saying it doesn't. I don't know. It sounds. I find it's weird that you have to get these shards to get good, basically. Otherwise, you're just like level 1 versus level 100s, right?
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was just a little quick thing I could see here. Just like, so I think I'll have a pretty good idea. Let's make sure not to say anything incorrect about them. Okay, a huge tree that grows in the lands of shadows. They scatter them throughout the region. You can find them by exploring various locations, dungeons, and optional areas. You can use collected fragments at any site of grace. Okay, the blessing is a permanent buff that increases the damage you deal and reduces the damage you receive. The buff is long-lasting and permanently reinforces your character. The buff won't be lost upon death or when leaving the DLC area. The only catch is the blessing is only active inside the Land of Shadows, so inside the DLC. That means, yeah, okay, cool. Using them is completely optional. If you want to make the game even more difficult, don't use them. So basically, it's a way of making it like on easy mode. So yeah, I guess I was pretty accurate with it. It does increase your damage
Yeah,
and damage received. So I mean, you don't have to use them if you don't like them.
sure. But I mean, as you've seen in videos, you don't use them, you get one-shotted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm starting to lean on the side of the people that
I
are
know,
not liking it now.
I know. That kind of just like the more you said, I was like, yeah, that is kind of stupid, I guess. Actually, oh
Well,
damn,
because I used to agree with Jimmy because he was
he's so
sort of
passionate.
he thought that yeah, he liked it, he loved it, and all that, and he thought it was because people got used to being overpowered with their late game characters, and then they hit a wall for the first time in a while.
Yeah, like that made
But
sense to me
now
too.
it seems like a difference in really game design,
Yeah, because
more so.
it's I know like a lot of people have special builds and all that, but yeah, that kind of like defeats the purpose. Like, does that mean I could use anything and as long as I have the shards, I'm overpowered? Because if so, yeah, that's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
yeah. Damn. Sorry, I did promise on Twitter though. Lazy Geek, he posted a few little comments on there. So if you don't know, if you go on Twitter, I usually have the podcast discussions on there, and you can always add in anything you want to input, and then I'll read it out during the pod. So anyway, it was about the Elden Ring discussion and just saying, do you find the difficulty is too hard? And his two responses were, "Gotta love the irony of someone boosting about finishing the main game when crying about the DLC to someone, me, that's not even finished, and no problem with waiting till I get good." There's a little dialogue here, basically, that he I guess he responded on a tweet, someone talking about Elden Ring, and well, I guess I'll just go ahead and I'll read a few little clips on here. Um, Feels like people that came into this the easiest From Software game were just reminded that the DLC is still a From Software game. I look forward to trying it one day, but I haven't finished the main game yet. Should probably do Bloodborne DLC first, though, to be honest. And then this person that responded, it was General Kenobi, just asking if he played the DLC to Lazy Geek. Which he was just basically responding that he didn't, and then it just blew up into this entire discussion about how Mr. Kenobi here thinks Lazy Geek is a noob and needs to get good and all that jazz. But the other response that Lazy Geek had to my original question was that he clicked the yes button for thinking that the difficulty was an issue, but he doesn't see the difficulty as a bad thing as long as you know what you're getting into. Some people just enjoy being punished, which is true. Some people do play those games just because they love losing. They love I get it. Like I get it. Like that is a response you do hear often, right? That people just they enjoy like the challenge to it all, and finally coming through and beating that one boss. Oh, hey, Prison Gamer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just scrolling on here to make sure I didn't miss anything from our own Discord community. I mean, yeah, Jimmy had lots to say. And I would love to read all up, and we'd be here for a little while. Ricky as well, like I said, he was very passionate about it. Trying to get back up here to his original comment. Oh yeah, he shared a meme. But his basically his take on it was it's a hard pill to swallow. I had this discussion with my roommate prior to the DLC's release. I had this discussion. He unintentionally, which I already was suspicious of, confirmed that he is a casual. I am summarizing, but his line in the sand is from software should unlock their DLC behind any paywall and gatekeep it with difficult boss guarding it. To which I replied, "You can just." Oh, okay, so his friend didn't like the idea that you had to beat a boss in order to play the DLC, which I didn't find was a big deal. Like I get it; it's been out for 2 years. I don't understand why people were so bothered by that. Like, would that annoy you, JW, if like Stellar Blade had that as an option?
I would find it a bit weird, but I wouldn't be annoyed. I think.
Yeah,
Like I would have just thought like, oh, it's a weird choice to start off with a boss, but it's not a big deal. I don't find.
yeah. I mean, again,
Like in that situation, get good if you want to proceed, basically.
Yeah, literally, right? And Jimmy brought up,
Because you don't get those shards yet, right? Before
no,
the,
no,
the
this is just a
first boss.
normal Elden Ring boss that you come across.
Yeah, so get good for that. And then you'll know that you'll be at least somewhat ready for what's to come.
And then, like, again, I don't want to quote Jimmy's words here, but I know he was telling me that in the area where you fight that boss, apparently there was always kind of was like indicators that there should have been something more there. So he said that this kind of really helped um, take a little bit further with the DLC. Like it made sense to choose that particular boss area, wherever it was. And then yeah, the last part by Ricky was not only did he disapprove my answer, but he um, basically said no one is for. Oh yeah, sorry. I basically said no one is forcing you to purchase the Elden Ring nor the DLC. However, you do purchase it and you lack the skill to beat it, that's a skill issue. Simply, you may not like it, but it's the truth, and the truth hurts. Again, you didn't like my answer. We went on this whole tangent about the game companies are unfair. But yeah, like I said, Ricky's pretty passionate about the DLC too. He's really enjoying his time with it. Um,
Oh, I mean, he's right in this sense. It's not the game company that's being unfair or anything.
oh yeah, totally.
I mean, he's right. Especially with Steam, you have like 2 to 3 hours to, I think 2 hours, to know if the DLC is for you or not before refunding it.
That's a cool feature. I like that they have that.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
I've done that with multiple games. It's very useful.
yeah,
If only Sony and all the other companies had something like that.
I know, right? That'd be so much better if they actually did. Sony's is harder, isn't it? Like I've never had to myself, but I always hear that people say it's challenging to get any kind of money back from Sony.
Yeah, no refunds.
Oh, is that their actual policy? Okay,
Yeah, there's no refund at all.
nice. I've never
Like, there would
had to.
need to be a serious fuck up for them to accept refunds.
Like
Like like that cyberpunk thing, right?
yeah, I was gonna say there was. Yeah, I'm sure there was a scenario where they actually probably should have gave a refund, but yeah, they.
But even then, CD Projekt gave the refund without Sony. Sony didn't want it to give refunds. I think it's because CD Projekt Red forced them by giving refund on all the other platforms. And then Sony replied by just taking the game off the platform.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's how it all went down. God, what a time. Oh, that game
And yet,
was.
lots of people like CD Projekt in the end. Well, Cyberpunk, I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Again, right. It was probably not as big as No Man's Sky turnaround, but still, it had its own little moment. Um,
Did you like it, Mindful?
yeah, the little bit I got to play, I did enjoy it. Again, like it was, I didn't know what to expect. But there wasn't it wasn't the same passion that I'm feeling about No Man's Sky, right? Like I didn't jump into it. I was like, holy crap, this is the best thing ever. I need to play more of it. But I also felt that way with The Witcher 2. So I think I need to be in the right mood to start one of those games to give it like a fair shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you would like it. Like I've said from the start with this game, it had lots of cool ideas. And there's clearly a passion behind it, even though it was released in a poor state, because of all the small details in just the cars and a bunch of stuff. But it's just not good enough, really. Like, there are multiple specific quests I could say that are really good, but in general, there's just too many problems with it. Well, for my taste.
Yeah, there's. I'm trying to think. I don't really think I had any like. I mean, I'm obviously playing it way later in the game, but yeah, I didn't really notice any too many bugs or anything bad happening with it. And story-wise, I was only, like I said, a couple hours into it, so I wasn't too invested yet. But I probably will. I definitely will go back into it at one point. I could add to my birthday list because I do have a physical copy, so put that on the
Oh, nice.
roulette. But yeah, as far
Yeah,
as
is that list long enough now, or there's still not enough games?
I think we got up to 22 now, so I think we have 22 games. So I was gonna have at least 30, just in case anything happened. Right, at least I had a bunch of spares. My idea is because I guess I blocked in my memory how much a bloody storage box is for any system. Well, PlayStation's was pretty cheap actually. Xbox is a little ridiculous. The one I had, I don't remember paying $189 for it, but apparently I did. And I was like, "Fuck, man, that's okay." Because I was all prepared. I was like, "Ah, it's $60 probably," and I looked. I was like, "Holy shit, these things are more expensive than I thought." Um,
Or maybe they upped the price with the with time.
I think,
I don't know.
yeah, it might have been because I really don't remember paying that much for one. Yeah, apparently I did. Yeah, I'm going to buy another one of those so I can have all the games listed. But I'm also going to have at least like a good 15, hopefully maybe up to 20 games on the actual Xbox itself. So again, if anything does happen this time, then yeah, we'll lose out on whatever 10 or 15 games, but I'll still have a good amount left over. To change over. Holy friggers, Marie. I just saw that. Thank you so much for the subs. Holy crap. Marie just gifted out 5 subs. Let's see. We got Tommy got one. Woohoo. Rebel Chief. I've seen him a few times. Jody got one. Nice. Prison Gamer. And Warm Tubs. Thanks,
Very
Marie.
nice.
Very kind of you. Oh, Marie was doing just chatting last. Marie, were you doing your own podcast? um, yeah. As far as I was saying for the Elden Ring DLC, just surprised, just honestly just surprised that this became like the biggest gaming news. This week's been really weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Me and JW already shared our thoughts on Discord, but I mean, minus this, the only other hot topic was Doctor Disrespect. Like that was pretty much it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. And like I'm with you, buddy. Like I said, honestly, it's just one of those things where you just have to wait for it to play out. Whatever happens, happens. That's the only time we're gonna get all the information on it.
Well, I mean, he pretty much uh,
Yeah, he pretty much spilled that.
wrote on Twitter he's guilty. Basically.
Yeah, he kind of screwed it up. Yeah.
He announced it. He said it. That I mean, there are ambiguity to certain things. Like if he knew that the person was underage, I think he did, but we don't know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And but I'm pretty sure he's guilty. One or the other. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to not text underage people.
Yeah, like it's just so dumb. Like he's just such an idiot.
Yeah.
It pisses me off, right? Because like you find someone like you're like, oh man, this person's funny and all that, and then like something like this happens, just like man, it's such bullshit. Like it's just bullshit they did it, not bullshit that it came out. But yeah, just pissed me off. Even like if Donkey, had something come up, I'd be so mad because it's like I've been watching him for so long and enjoying his content. Yeah, just dumb shit. I don't know why they do dumb shit.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you? Okay, I didn't get a chance to see though, JW. I don't know if you did respond to it, but you know how in most of those shorts I share anyway, I think that's Tim Dog or whatever his name is supposed to be. What do you think is going to happen with him? Do you think he's going to still do his own content now? Because he's been like with Doctor Disrespect on quite a few things. I mean, obviously you should social yourself away from someone like that. From their own business standpoint, that's not going to look good on them.
Oh, I mean, especially now that Dr. Disrespect said, yeah, I did that. So
yeah,
I would definitely distance myself.
Yeah. I don't know. It was the first part I thought of.
Like even if he's your friend, I mean, that's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Period.
It is.
Friend or not friend. Because sometimes you see these celebrities have like a certain take, let's say, or point of view and opinion, and then the people around them distance themselves from that person. But
Yep.
in the end, he's not a bad guy. He just had a counter opinion, right?
Exactly. Yep.
But that is not that situation though. This is objectively not good.
Yeah, this is completely different. Saying like I don't like this politician or something like that, and taking a side. Yeah. But like as a ninja there said, right? This is just breaking the law at this point. Like it's moral laws and actual laws. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Well,
Content creating.
it's like any pedos. They're secret until they're not.
True. Yeah. Who is it again? Oh man, who was it that just like blew? I think it was Jamie. I think he was the one that said on the Super Show when him and Jonesy were kind of like dabbling in that conversation, right? About like the evils of YouTube and all that. And he's like, it's just like he told Jones, he's like, no man, you should be watching what your kids are watching on there. And just like it was like a total like mind blowing moment. He's like, wow, you're right. Yeah, there probably is a lot of them on there. Like you don't think about it, right? But yeah, it's it is I guess a easy spot for those kind of people. Yeah.
Well, especially with Kick, right?
Yeah, because Kick kind of doesn't have a lot of barriers right now, right?
It has no barriers.
Yeah, no rules. Yeah, that's messed up.
Which is interesting because, in some way, part of me sort of like that freedom of you can post pretty much anything. You don't have to watch out for what you say, what you do, or anything. But at the same time, there's a gambling casinos. There's a bunch of like weird shit that goes on that is posted on there, and in the end, it's the individual that's weird. It's not because of Kick.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like Kick is just a platform. But yeah, no, there's a lot of. It's just to say there's a lot of weird shit that people can see now.
It's like when you describe Kick like that, it almost sounds like it's like the dark web or something.
I know. It sounds like that, but I mean, it's Twitch without barriers.
Exactly. Yeah. I do like that idea though too. Like just having that freedom of speech, to just say what you want to say. Like I'm down for that. That's interesting kind of conversations that might take place. But yeah, it's all the other crazy shit. I think it's what's his stupid name? Aiden Ross. I think that was the guy. I think the first time he went on Kick or whatever, just to show like it was no hold barred. He was like watching porn and doing an online casino at the same time. He's like, look, you can do whatever you want. It's just like, yeah, that's cool, man. I guess.
I mean, in the end, it's to the individual to decide what they want to do, support, like or not like.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah. And most of them even give that option, like I'm not interested in this content, and then boom, most of the time you won't ever see it again.
Yeah.
I usually do it on YouTube because I used to get all those bloody like prank ones on the shorts. I was like, I don't have any interest in this. Like I've never like whatever. Some are funny and all that, but like I'm not like desperate to see like someone stealing someone's.
Oh my god, YouTube is terrible.
Oh, I know.
with this, like, there was a sort of 5 to 10 second clip of something that was called "What the hell was that?" and I was curious, so I clicked it, and it ended up being someone that was filming his screen, and one of the screen of a TV of a newscast, and that person, or a celebrity or whatever, and that person there was like a visual glitch in the TV.
Yeah.
And the person thought it was like a signs that it was lizard people hiding in plain sight. And so after that, I had just bunch of conspiracy videos of alien stuff, of like just a shitload of stuff I don't watch.
I love it because, like, yeah, every single time we do the podcast, right? Whenever we talked about the next day, my phone for sure will start to show it on YouTube and all that. I laugh because the last one we had was the Dragon Ball Z conversation. Since then, I've been like flooded with like Dragon Ball Z videos and things popping up on Twitter, right? Dragon Ball Z related. I was like, holy shit! Like, I like it, but not this much.
Well, I mean, so especially that you don't watch the latest show, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was showing you about it, right? Like some of it was just, I don't know, so ridiculous. Like I said, the fact I don't understand why they would bring back the Kaioken. I get how they're trying to make it look in the show, but I'm pretty confident in Dragon Ball Z. Like it said in there that Super Saiyan outperformed that maneuver. Like it was obsolete.
Yes.
There's no point to use it anymore.
Yes, it doesn't stack.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just like, no, here's the new series. We're just gonna erase that from history.
And in the new series, it stacks over.
Yeah, right. On top of being a blue sand now and all this jazz.
Yeah,
But
but you know what it means. It means you'll have Saiyans of all the colors, right? Because you have Brawly, that is Super Saiyan green,
yep,
whatever the fuck that Saiyan is. And
yeah, yeah. It's so true.
so
Yeah,
at
because
some point you'll have pink, you'll have yellow. Oh, yellow we already have, and
yeah, but
green. No, green we have as well. Oh my
green.
god.
Yeah, I think Vegeta was red because he's whatever the sign of ego or something like that. They labeled it as. It's just it just seems.
Signs of ego.
Yeah, like I can't remember how they said what Goku's was, but I'm sure like it's not actually called Super Saiyan Blue. It's like inner Saiyan or inner strength. It's some different name for it. And then I'm sure when they were talking to Vegeta, sorry, they said, okay, yeah, yours is ego because he's always like full of himself and shit. It just it's so dumb. It's just so
It
dumb.
sounds so stupid.
I know it.
Okay, I'm putting my ego on my sleeves now. Be ready.
Well, especially when they were like, here are all the destroyers, and they belong to different universes, and it's like, but somehow Goku's still stronger than the guy that's meant to destroy the world.
Like it's like I told you, when they arrive at parallel universes and
It just
stuff
gets
like that,
stupid.
that's when you know they're yeah.
But I do agree with you.
I-
I did watch quite a few clips of just some GT battles, and that was such a good show. I agree that show
Yes,
was done dirty.
for sure, yes. Because it was the perfect mix between Dragon Ball Normal and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
And by Dragon Ball Normal, I mean when Goku is a young kid. Because, it had that goofy comedy with adventures like they used to have.
yeah, like
And
when
then with
it's
the, I think, second half of the series, then it becomes more like Dragon Ball Z, where it was fights after fights.
Yeah, I totally like. I guess I forgot about that part. Like, I focused on the later half, but I forgot that there's that whole like series, pretty much with him, Pan, and Trunks. And it's good. Yeah, they're really good as a team.
Yeah, I mean there are really stupid episodes. Like there's one I distinctively remember where they are stuck dancing.
Yeah,
Like they can't stop dancing because of I can't remember what, but I just remembered it was the shittiest thing I had seen.
so true. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I was definitely done dirty.
But they're not all like that.
No.
But I
There's.
think people only remember that episode maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the top like gifts when you type in Dragon Ball GT.
Yeah.
Um, the card game is still shit though. I remember playing the card game when I was younger. That one just kind of ruined the entire series because they were just so overpowered at that point. Um, what was the other thing I was going to ask you again? The only other thing that took place, I realized, between that 2 week gap, and I think you gave me a few of the ones that you like, JW. But was there anything for the Nintendo Switch that like caught your eye that you were really excited over? That you remember still?
I don't really look at the Switch Direct because I don't have a Switch. But there was no. I did look at the main stuff that were announced, and there's nothing really that jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because I'm somewhat of a fan of Metroid, and they announced Metroid Prime 4, and I wasn't excited for it. Like it looked like an old unreleased game.
Yes.
And by that I
Yes.
don't mean it looked buggy or anything. I meant it looks like a game from an older generation that they're releasing now.
Yep. Yeah.
And it just gave me that weird feeling of, oh, it's like they're re-releasing something that was never released. It's bizarre.
Like if they didn't,
It's a bizarre feeling.
yeah, if they didn't release like, sorry, re-release Metroid Prime, I would have thought for sure that was just Metroid Prime, like remastered or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, so there's that looked fine. I mean, not great like I said, but fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they
There's
got the fourth one, but
there's this new Zelda and this sort of chibi visuals. I'm not a fan of,
like the
really.
one where Zelda's like the main character, right?
Yes, now Zelda is the main character, and your skill is duplicate items.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I didn't find it look exciting. I mean, it's an interesting concept to play with. Like on a game design perspective, it seems cool and interesting. But as a game and with the universe and all that, didn't seem that interesting.
Do you think too? I was wondering. Do you think maybe it's just because we had Tears of the Kingdom like just a little while ago? Like it's just 2 months Zelda right now. We needed like a little break from it, and then maybe this game would have been more exciting. Like give it like a
No,
year or two. No.
I no, I think it's their exploration of game mechanics. But what
Okay.
I mean by that is Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and this next one, I don't know the name of it, all have like they're all heavy focus on a game mechanic that you can use anywhere, anytime during the game in the world, right?
Yep.
And then for all of them, I find these game mechanics are, on a game design perspective, very cool, but as an in-world concept, like it doesn't gel with the world, if it makes sense. Like I'm trying to find the words here, but it's like it's a cool ability, but it doesn't seem like it takes out of the world those kinds of abilities. It's not like, oh, I'm using a fireball because in this world you can use a fireball. It's like I'm aware these are all game mechanics where I can mess around with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. I get what you're going with. I
And it's
just
so for each of these games, it always brings me out of the world, and I'm not invested into the world, into the characters. I'm more invested into exploring that game mechanic. That's why it's a disconnect for me.
I was just taking a quick little peek here too, just to see if because though we did have a little discussion about that one too. And yeah. No, I agree. It didn't pop. Like it honestly it's just nothing about that game popped out. And like the part that sucks is like I can't even say that I felt that way about. Sorry, I felt differently in any other game that was showcased there. Like Metroid Prime 4 was definitely one of them. Even the Mario and Luigi game, I don't know. Like, were you excited when you saw that? Like, I didn't. I was like, okay, another platformer.
No, yeah, that's my reaction as well.
Yeah, like,
Um,
I want it. Like, in
well,
the most.
I have a
Sorry, go ahead, JW.
I have a theory for that Zelda though, because what we've seen, Zelda, her only skill is to duplicate stuff.
Yeah,
That's her only skill we've seen, compared to Link that, you have a sword, you have to shield, you have multiple ways of using of and multiple skills, right? and Zelda seems to have that only one skill. So it's a different type of gameplay, but it seems very simple on the surface and boring.
Plus, like, you think of Zelda too, like she does have abilities. Like we've seen in other
Yeah,
yeah,
light abilities.
yeah, right. What was it, even Ocarina? Wasn't she Sheik or whatever? So she knows how to use a sword and all that. So it's yeah. It's interesting they took
That's
that.
true.
It's interesting they took that path. The other one I was looking at, I was
There's
gonna look.
Sheik, but there's also in other games like Twilight Princess where she has like light bows and
Yeah.
light magic and whatever. Why
Well,
don't they use that? That would have been cool.
yeah. So true. Oh wow. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Good point.
And
Um,
you know, when they teased Tears of the Kingdom, I was hoping for them to change the protagonist, that to have Zelda so that Tears of the Kingdom was a complete different game than Breath of the Wild.
wow. JW,
So
that's good.
you would have different abilities and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because in that tease, you see Link like fell off wall or something, right? I can't remember the tease exactly, but for some reason, it gave me the impression they were going to go with Zelda as the main character, and ended up not being that. And which there's other directions just as fine. But so I find it weird that they're doing that with that smaller game instead. Would think for a character like Zelda, they would have done something bigger like Tears of the Kingdom.
Like, it's so sad that that got me more hype than any game from the direct. Like,
I know, right?
oh, that's such a good idea. Holy shit! Like, what a like seriously, that is a banger. Because that would have made a complete difference with Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, I definitely would have played it. Oh, it's so
Me too.
good. That's so good, JW. That's a great show. Um, the one I was laughing at earlier was the Funko Pops game.
Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say, I know that wasn't your cup of tea. I feel like
I,
Daisy. I only want to play it just because I actually have a few of them. Like that's the only reason why.
it just it's the future of gaming, really. To have these sort of interconnected worlds of brands, interconnected brands all in the same world, I mean, and doing various stuff in it, you know, like Fortnite, Roblox, and all those games.
Yep.
This is the future this is the upcoming titles that we're going to have, and future stuff that people will put their money on because those games have made a lot of money, right?
That's
So I
true.
see terms, I see I see why this is the future, but it's not something that I'm that I like. I find it such devoided of creativity and anything. It feels like I'm looking at a game made by a marketing team.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Like I said, I don't expect anything big out of the game, but yeah, I would be disappointed if that's the turning point. If these games keep being successful, even like the Lego games, you could throw into that mix too.
Oh yeah, I'm counting Lego in that as well.
Yeah.
Not just games, but they have TV shows as well and films,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
That's
Where it's just a bunch of brands and all the same, and people gather around just to point at the screen and go, "Oh, this is Batman." And it's like, yes, it is.
Aren't you impressed? The other one they had was the Hello Kitty Island Adventures. That one just made me laugh because, like I said, that episode of South Park where Butters is playing it.
Yeah.
Um, I was just trying to see if there's anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, nothing noteworthy really with
yeah,
Switch.
really, yeah. There was nothing even on here that I had that caught my eye. I mean,
Well, they're probably keeping a bunch of stuff for Switch 2 or whatever.
but like I don't know, like even owning a Switch, like there's a few games I still want to get that I think would be fun to play on there. Um, But yeah, like I bought Breath of the Wild thinking that would be a great time, and then that one I ended up getting disappointed in. It started off so good, and then it was like I think 4 hours into it, and I realized like okay. Like, I'm not enjoying this. I don't want to go to shrines. I want to go to temples. I want to have a different experience than what I'm getting out of this game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I stuck longer than 4 hours, but I had that same impression. Yeah.
There was the Donkey Kong game too that came out, which again, I wasn't overly excited over. I was like, yeah, it's cool. I don't really want Donkey Kong, but um,
Well, I was never a big Donkey Kong guy, so I'm like,
me too. Yeah,
eh.
it was never like the game I got really into. Um,
People like monkeys though.
they
Like
do.
there's this thing where no, but I'm serious. There's this thing with DC Comics where they I can't remember why, but they put at some point there was something with gorillas with one of the of a comic. I can't remember which hero.
Okay.
Probably Superman. And it sold enormously well, and then the comics afterwards didn't sell as much, and then they brought back they put the monkey again, and then it sold super well again, and so they ended up making villains like Gorilla Grodd and other DC villains with with a
That's
lot of
too
lore
funny.
behind why there are super intelligent apes and a bunch of stuff, because they've noticed that apes for some reason sell.
I was only laughing earlier
Like
because I don't know if you've seen it
a
before.
bunch of people love monkeys for
Yeah,
some reason.
it's just funny when you say that line because you've seen Jay and Silent Bob, right? Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they have like the movie scene and the ladies, I think they're doing like the Scream movie, and then she lifts the mask up and it's a monkey, and she's like, "Jesus Christ, Wes, like why do we have a monkey on the set?" He's like, "People love monkeys," and then just at that same moment, Jay and Silent Bob come in and they kidnap the monkey back, and they're like, "We fucking love this monkey," and he's like, "See what I mean?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. But that's really funny though. That was a little bit of the backstory for the comics. That's
Oh, I mean, I've I've I I did a basic explanation. I'm sure there are better, more detailed explanation online, but
yeah,
basically
no,
that's the gist of it. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's funny. Um, the only two I put down there, I don't like I said, it depends of how you feel about them. But the fairy tale game, that one caught my eye. That was on there. Well, because I like fairy tale. I think it was a really cool anime. And there was the Dragon Quest remake too. That I was also I thought was kind of neat.
I mean, if these interest you, sure.
Did you like Fairy Tale the anime? Did you ever get to see that one?
Uh, no, not much. Not really, no. I know my wife likes it, but not me.
No. Okay. No. Fair enough. Um. Yeah. Okay. So sure. Yeah. That was all the ones that I had. Um.
I mean, it's not shit or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those shonen animes, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. What's
Because
that?
I find there's a pattern behind all those shonen animes, and I sort of, I don't know. I see the pattern, and then I'm not invested into them.
Oh, like what's that? Like what don't you like about them?
Well, it's this pattern of having a bunch of people training together, and a bit. It's a bit like this. Harry Potter is a bit like a shonen when you think about it, right? Everybody
Okay.
goes to this school, and there's these houses, and you have these the power of friendship, and there's just a bunch of returning stuff like this that is like across all shonen for some reason. One Piece, My Hero Academia, etc., etc.
Yeah. And what always
No,
stands out?
of course I'm boiling it down because they're all different, right? But I don't know. I just don't gel with them.
No, I get that. That I could see that. You've seen one, you've seen them all, kind of thing. Even if the story is a
Yeah,
little bit different.
yeah. I mean, it's probably because I didn't grow up with them as well, right? I grew up with Dragon Ball, with Naruto, and other shonens, right?
Yep. Um, Sorry, Sheila, you were saying there. Mindful, they got the first game, Fairy Tale, and you've played it. I'm assuming what you meant. I didn't even know there was multiple Fairy Tale games. You know, one anime actually I would really love to get my hands on now that I got Digimon that I still haven't played yet. Um, oh, Sal played it. Oh, Celerio played it. I get what you mean. Oh, okay. I'll check her. I'll check her channel out then to see if she has it saved or not. But one game I would love to play would be Monster Rancher. I never got my hands on that one, and that one always caught my eye. Like I fucking love that little anime. I thought it was really neat. I was into that, like the Pokemon, the Digimon, and Monster Rancher. I always like the idea of collecting monsters.
Are you sure? Uh, Not my thing, but
Oh,
I don't know what's the anime of Monster Rancher. I was thinking of Slime Ranchers or whatever it's called, the game
oh yeah, yeah.
where you
You collect the slimes.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was thinking of that, but it's not that, right?
No, no. They come from like physical discs. These monsters, and like the cool thing was like you obviously well, I don't think you could do it now. Jimmy would know because I know he's of course played these games. But you could take like a CD and you could put that CD in your disc tray right on the PS2 or PS1, whichever one it was, and they would take a special monster from that CD. And like I can't remember who it
Oh,
was.
right. Right.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Germa play this, actually.
Yeah, just like it's a cool idea. Like I like that idea. Like these random monsters will come from discs, so you never really know what you're gonna get. But the idea is obviously to collect as many as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
neat.
that's cool, yeah.
Yeah, it was neat, and the monsters they did had cool designs too. But yeah, Digimon was always my favorite.
I mean, well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I did like Digimon when I was younger. Um,
I found the story
but
was better, eh?
I don't.
Like better,
Well,
like compared to
I thought
Pokemon.
it was cooler the creatures, the evolution, and that
Yeah,
some could even, as they evolved, they could end up speaking to the language and all that. They started off as these small beings, and they would evolve and almost, starting to almost be human in some way, right?
yeah, and they had paths too. Like it wasn't like they're always gonna turn out to be good. They could go down this dark path too, right? So you never
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Yeah, it was neat. It was just really neat how they made that world and the creatures that were in it.
Yeah, and they're it's strange because they're that it did not pick up compared to Pokemon, let's say, because
Yeah,
the subject matters was more, I would say, in line with the people, right? Was so they all need to save the internet, right?
yeah,
That's something that seems to in the 90s should have been a slam dunk in terms of an objective, a story, right?
yeah. No, 100%. I was always surprised by that too. That Digimon didn't make it in the long run. I thought for sure that would overtake. I didn't maybe not overtake Pokemon, but I thought it would have been a good like runner up, like just side by side with it.
Yeah, and I guess, well, because I've only seen the original series, I haven't
Same.
seen what they've done with it along the years, but I guess they probably didn't find a good way to modernize it compared to Pokemon, where they've constantly found ways of expanding and changing their stuff and making it work with multiple generations, right?
Yeah, I was even trying to think because I know both of them had movies. It's been a long time since I seen the Digimon one. I know the Pokemon first movie was really good. That one actually was well done. As far as
Yeah,
yeah, I almost want to say I think the Digimon one was cheesy. I think they went the wrong route. I think they made it like he said, power of friendship overcomes everything. One of those kind of
yeah. I remember not liking the Digimon movie
yeah.
when I was a kid. Like, I liked the show, but I didn't like the movie.
Oh, me too.
But the Pokemon movie was good. Yeah.
Um, who was the dude again? Myotismon, the vampire guy. I loved his storyline. Like that was up there.
Yeah.
As far as like top whatever you want to call them sagas or storylines. So good. It was so.
Yeah, I agree.
I loved when it switched over. So like I think it was like getting close to the end of his episode, and then he got to like come to like the Earth realm or whatever you want to call it, and like that shit was so cool. And then just like how the battle ended, and then you got to see like I can't remember what they called them, the Elite Four, wherever the hell they were, and it was like holy shit, this is still going on. I thought for sure like that was the end of the first season or first cast of kids, because I know after that it changed to a different set of kids. But it was cool that they gave you that.
Yeah, yeah,
It was cool they gave you that last little bit, right? We had these four remaining bad guys.
yeah. It was just a fun show.
I know. I geeked out there. Sorry.
I mean, no, but I agree completely, and I wish I'm no. I was gonna say maybe I should rewatch them, but no, I'm sure. I'm sure I would look at them objectively
Oh yeah, it'd
and
be
hate
so cheesy.
Digimon for sure.
I don't
But I
know.
remember I was the only one at school that had Digimon cards. Everybody had Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I remember having both of those, and like to this day, I still don't understand how you play those cards. But they were just really cool
Me
to
neither.
collect.
Yeah, exactly. They were just visually very nice. Plus, you had, like I said, multiple evolutions, so you had multiple cards for these creatures. And,
Yeah, yeah. They made the
yeah,
holographics so nice too. I remember that. I like the shinies that you'd get. Um,
yeah.
because okay, obviously because you're from Canada too, JW, you'll know this show. I mean, a good chunk of people know what it is, so it's not too surprising. But the other one I thought that would have done really, really well. It did do good, but not as I guess overpowering on the cartoons I thought it was gonna do was Beast Wars. I thought that one was a fucking slam dunk too, and I'm surprised it didn't explode more.
I don't, I don't know what Beast Wars is.
Oh no, really? Like Transformers?
Oh, oh, right. Okay, no, I do know Transformers,
Yeah, you did.
but I didn't know. I don't specifically know Beast Wars.
Damn. Okay. It was a bit. Yeah. Like obviously, it was just when they got to like have instead of vehicles and all that, it was like a gorilla was Optimus Prime, and then Megatron was like a giant T Rex because they scanned fossils or some shit. There was some.
Okay, so it's their way of rebooting the. Yeah, okay, I see. Because
Yeah.
after the I guess main show and movies,
Yeah. I guess
they
after
needed
whatever
a
it
way
was the
to,
'80s, because that
yeah.
was like the '90s version of it. Damn shit. Okay. Like some people know it, some
Probably
people don't.
because of my brother, that one that I watched, because I watched the original full show of the Transformers and the movies, but after that I didn't follow through with Transformers.
Yeah, because it was that one, and then the only other one I liked a lot was Reboot. Reboot was really good too.
Oh yeah, Reboot. Okay, Reboot looks like shit, but it's an awesome show.
So true.
Like, it's impossible to recommend this because you try to sell it to someone, and then they look at it and then they're like, yeah, no, I'm not watching that. It looks like an N64 game. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. In my head, I didn't think it was that bad. I remember one time I went back to like watch some cool clips or whatever. I was like, what the fuck was I enjoying back in the day? This is terrible. Oh.
no, it's awesome. I loved. Me and my brother would religiously watch Reboot.
Oh, so good. It was so good.
Yeah,
I I
but it did not hold the test of times. Clearly,
I was gonna say, yeah, when it got like to the later end of it, did you still enjoy it there when I think it was like Enzo was an adult and he was kind of taking over, so to speak? I can't remember what happened to Bob. I'm sure there was something in the storyline that he was doing.
yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
That's
been a long time, so I don't remember exactly, but I think so. Yeah.
yeah. But that was the point where I think I got more turned off by it. It wasn't the same. Like I loved the whole like classic one, where they're like he's a kid. He just got like the
Right.
incoming game.
No, no, I think I did like it because exactly what you've just said. It was totally different, and it was almost like starting a new series of that same show, right?
Yeah, Yeah, you never knew what the episode was gonna be. Even the bad guys, like they had. I know there was two I could think of, like Hexadecimal and then Megabyte, but I know they had even more than that. So it was always like a good, a good rotation, I guess, of characters. Yeah,
Yep.
that was great. Sorry, just continue down memory lane.
Oh, it's great.
Um,
Making me think of things I haven't thought in a long time.
did you have any OJW that you watched like as a kid? Like any
Well,
that stood out to
there
you?
was plenty.
I know that. I'd be like any that stood out to you.
I would say Neon Genesis Evangelion
Yeah.
totally blew my mind, and every time I watch, like I watch it every couple of years, like the show, rewatch it with the movie, and it just blows my mind every time. It's like really one of the best thing I've ever seen. Period.
No, it is.
And
It is really good.
it's just insane the route that it takes from this normal mech thing to this sort of psychological, philosophical, religion almost type of thing. And spy, there's even a spy story in it, and it goes to so many weird places and interesting. Um,
No,
Ghost in
it's.
the Shell is another cool one,
I never got the chance
but
to watch
I
that one.
wasn't Ghost in the Shell. Actually, when I was a kid, I didn't get it. I just thought the visuals were cool, and the animation was just unrivaled.
Yeah.
It's only when I was much older and I got it that I really could appreciate that one. I know the first actual anime that I really liked was Full Metal Alchemist, the original series. I was just such a fan when I was a kid. Like I had posters, I had like everything Full Metal Alchemist.
That's another series I gotta end up watching. I like watched bits and pieces of it because one of my friends was obsessed with it, but I never sat down and actually watched like the full anime.
Well, some people like there's two series. There's the original
Yeah.
and there's the Brotherhood series, where the Brotherhood series sticks closer to the manga. Because the original series, when it was made, the mangas weren't finished, so at some point they diverge and go their own way.
Oh, okay.
And and yeah, and so there's a couple of stuff that's different in the anime compared to the manga. And now people usually like this, but I personally find the original series much better and much. They follow the rules that they give all along the all along the series, right? Like I'm trying to tiptoe around spoilers right now to explain why I like it more.
Yeah.
But that I think that's my main thing because I find Brotherhood becomes at some point one of those, shonen I'm talking about where there's like power creep, where there's all sorts of different powers now and power ups and I don't know what.
Yeah.
So it's way closer to a normal I find anime, and the other one I find is a bit more grounded and, like I said, follow through with the rules that it lays out during the show. And really like the ending as well.
Yeah. I always say I need to go back and watch a few animes, but yeah, I definitely, I'm gonna pop those.
Oh,
Two.
that's one you definitely should.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, just to
Another one that you should, and I saw this when I was a teen and not necessarily a kid, but Claymore.
Oh, I remember. Yeah,
Which
you told me
is
about that one.
yes, I'm talking to everybody because it's one of my favorite show like ever,
Yeah.
and I don't know anybody that really knows it until I speak about it. I think I think I sometimes watch the YouTuber Indie Mouse,
Okay. Yeah.
and he's the only other person I've heard him reference Claymore. I was like, holy shit, someone else knows this show. And he's in Australia, so. But it's a great, it's an awesome show where it's in a sort of medieval time in a world where where the humans are not the top of the food chain, but certain monsters that are called yomas.
Yeah.
And so these yomas terrorize the villages by eating someone, then taking their place,
Oh, okay.
or they sort of hide in plain sight, like they can transform as a human from the village. So it's a bit of a werewolf situation, but the humans have no way of knowing who's the Yoma. So what the towns do when they can't pay for it is they send money to this organization, secret. Well, they're a bit mysterious, but to this organization, and this organization will send a warrior called a Claymore, which is a half human, half Yoma. So they can sense the aura of the Yoma if you want,
That's
and
cool.
dispatch it when they can. And so the anime starts like this, but as it progresses, it becomes something completely different that is super interesting. And you really concentrate on these warriors, what they live through, and the tragedy behind these warriors, really. And it's just really well written character and very nice fight scenes, and it's altogether an awesome thing. Now the anime only covers like part of the mangas. The mangas go even further, and I would suggest reading the mangas because the end and revelations along the mangas are great. It elevates it even more. So I would recommend both of those.
No, that sounds really good. That sounds really good, actually. I'll have to look that one up.
Another one that's cool is Psychopass. Although I would recommend only watching that first season.
Okay.
It doesn't get as good as that first season, I find. Like season 2 is okay, season 3 is good as well. There are a couple of movies that are all good, pretty good, but nothing I think came as good as the first season of Psychopass, which is in a world where, well, a bit relevant to today, but in a world where everything is dictated by AI.
Oh, okay.
There's a way where people of finding out when people will do crime in advance, right? Or like they have a way of detecting the crime coefficiency of someone, which is the likelihood for them to do a crime in a percentage.
Okay.
And so they have police people that follow through that, but they also often bring enforcers, which are prisoners that they use to track down these criminals, because the police officers cannot permit themselves to think like a criminal, otherwise they will become criminals, because they will change their crime coefficiency by thinking about the crimes, right?
Oh, okay.
Well, basically, they let the criminals do the thinking and the police do the catching. So of course, there's this cool duality of having to deal with the criminals they are tasked to follow and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah,
It
that sounds
is
pretty
very
cool, actually.
interesting in the whole system. And well, there's something I want to discuss as well that comes in at some point that is super interesting as well. But I can't because it's a spoiler. But there are some interesting twists and turns and interesting subjects, because it talks about all sorts of questions around AI, around can you predict someone that do crime, and et cetera, and all that. Also, the way the people do crime in the universe is super interesting because there's all sorts of new gadgets budget, right? It's a future, so there's all sorts of holographic ways and different ways of being anonymous and et cetera, et cetera.
It's really interesting when you're. I was just thinking like the shows I enjoyed, right? And then just hearing the ones you did, it totally makes sense. Like why you like writing so much. Just like the storylines that you're describing from each of these, right? Especially growing up, like watching those two, that's pretty crazy. I can totally see like why you like writing. Like what excites you, I guess, is about it. Just basically how you're describing each one of these animes or TV shows.
Yeah, well, I like a variation of
Yeah,
stuff. I mean, I
they're like
I like
solid
those, but I
picks.
also like those cheesy, let's say, old James Bond as well, right?
Oh yeah, no, of course, no, but yeah, no, they all sound really good. Is what I'm trying to say. Um, I definitely want to check out Claymore though. The way I don't know, just how that one sounded, it does sound really good. I wonder if it's probably on
Well,
Crunchyroll. Yeah,
I sure hope so.
yeah.
And it's definitely worth it. Like, I've watched it so many times over and over and read it over and over. I have the whole series in manga in like this big case.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
because there was this collection that you could buy through Amazon on a special price, and it came in this big sort of cardboard Claymore case with nice visuals.
Ooh, nice. I didn't think they did that for the mangas. That's really neat.
Yeah, I mean, there are other stuff that I grew up with that, like, let's say, Cowboy Bebop is another cool one. There's
Oh
Akira.
yeah,
There's a bunch of stuff really.
yeah. Trigun.
We would be here all night, really.
So true, buddy. Yeah, no, I think that's a good spot to end it. Um, I'm just excited. It's gonna be cool, like putting the edits now into this and having some of those anime clips pop up. I'll have to find some good moments to highlight. But yeah, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me, JW. Thank you, Cheyenne, by the way, for the sub and the bits. I appreciate it. And thank you, Marie, for the 5 subs. That was very, very kind and sweet of you. Yeah, but yeah, thanks, buddy, for sitting down and talking with me. I appreciate it.
I always like it as well.
You have a great night, JW.
You too. Bye.
Okay, just gonna do my little transition here. Okay, and okay, I guess I should do a raid because I have like 5 people. I didn't realize that. So if you guys don't mind, we'll stick around. We'll quickly do a raid, but I'll just do my little end cap. Um, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. Everything's pretty much normal this week. I'm probably gonna do Perfect Dark on Friday because I want to be able to give my thoughts and opinions on that game. JW's been waiting a little while for me to play that one. If I don't play it Friday, I'll play it Thursday. I'll put it that way. Like I'll definitely make sure I dabble into that one. If you haven't yet, you're on the Discord community. Please go ahead and keep shouting out games. We're only at 21 or 22 out of 30 games that I need for that day. So definitely need a lot more. July 11th is the date.